So people have been asking me whether or not which tablets to be using. Android, the new Slate, iPads, and my response to that currently is the iPad is still the best that's out there. And my reason for saying this is specific to the classroom. I think that when you are inside the classroom, the instructor should be focusing on the content delivered. And I think by not focusing on that, by the standardization protocols that are in iPads, that it helps people be able to focus on that instruction in the classroom. Beyond this, I think that the use of Apple TV with iPad allows exponential growth in the classroom because people are more quickly and easily able to share an idea at the whiteboard without having to get to the whiteboard. So what is an Apple TV? An Apple TV is a $100 module that you can put onto any monitoring device. Any monitor device. That means that it can be the screen for your computer, it can be a TV with an HDMI input, it can even be your projector. And when it's doing this, you can be standing in front of your classroom and you project your mirrored screen onto that space behind you. Now, it's handy to be able to do this inside of class when you are wanting students to be able to quickly follow you and understand where you're going and to model use of technology. Beyond this, it's handy because using things like Evernote's sub-app Penultimate, which is free, you could have students be doing math work at their iPad, which is very similar to the scratch work that people do on paper. With Apple TV, the person can then quickly share their screen to others inside their class and show their math work. And so one, you're not only focusing on a problem, but then two, you're focusing on a student's collaborative effort to be able to solve the problem. And thirdly, you can have a conversation about numeracy. Why is the way that Tom is doing it different than Alice? Why is it that both answers are correct? And because you're using Apple TV and the iPad, this is more seamlessly happening in the class. Beyond this use of sharing the idea, your students are not having to worry about standing up in front of the classroom and working their problem at the whiteboard. So you're stopping this frustration that students have of being on display. You're removing the focus from the whiteboard and you're changing it to where that student is, and that focus is still on the screen in front of everybody where everybody is watching, and that person talking, the presenter, then becomes a narrator. So until Android is able to replicate or mirror its screen over its Google TV, until Slate is able to similarly be able to handle a wireless exchange of mirroring, so I can have a more hands-free present or a more a way to disengage that whiteboard and to disengage the lectern, I'm going to be continuing to approve iPad and with the Apple TV device. Similarly to me encouraging programs who have presentation lecterns to be using wireless keyboards and mice, so that the instructor can then be in the class amongst the students and not have a separation behind the desk. So this is Lee. This is my first time trying out this idea of a video blog, and I hope that this is informative to you. Thanks.